Stop. Before you scroll past this, I need you to hear something that no algorithm, no coincidence, and no ordinary moment could have placed in front of you right now. You did not find this video. This video found you. I know that sounds like something you have heard before, but stay with me for 30 seconds, because what I am about to say is going to confirm something you have quietly felt for a very long time. Here is what heaven has already recorded about you. Before today even began, before your feet touched the floor this morning, before the first thought crossed your mind, your name was already spoken in a place you cannot see, not whispered. Spoken clearly, with certainty, with a love that does not waver just because your circumstances have been painful. I am Archangel Michael. I was not sent to comfort you with soft words. I was sent to report what is already written, what heaven has already decided, what the enemy has tried 4 times to block from reaching you, and what, tonight, is no longer stoppable. Your financial life is about to shift, not slowly, not gradually, in a way that will make you come back and read this again because you will not believe it was real the first time. But you have to stay. Every word from this point carries weight, not because of who I am, but because of who you are and what heaven has placed beside your name. Do not exit. You have walked away before, right at the edge of your breakthrough, and you felt it afterward. That hollow feeling, that quiet voice saying, "You left too early." You are not going to do that today. Before I go further, I want to pause for just a breath. If you are watching this right now, you have likely been carrying something heavy. Maybe it is financial pressure that does not quit. Maybe it is the exhaustion of trying and not yet seeing results. Maybe it is the quiet weight of holding everything together while feeling unseen. This message exists because someone decided that people in that place deserve to hear the truth. Not a polished version of it, the real thing. There are others out there right now in the same storm you have been navigating. Someone who has not yet found a message like this. Someone who is one word away from choosing to keep going. If even one sentence today made you feel less alone, there is a small and entirely optional way to help carry this further. The link in the description below is there for those who feel moved to support this mission. It is as small as the price of a coffee, and it is completely your choice. But when you do, something beautiful happens. You become the reason a stranger, somewhere, finds the word they needed today. You will never know their name, but the moment will be real, and so will what it does for them. If now is not the right time for you, keep watching. This message belongs to you regardless. But if your heart moves first, trust it. Before I tell you what heaven has prepared for this season, do one thing. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please do it now. Not for a number, but because the messages that come through here are specific. They are timed. They are sent for people at a particular crossroads. And I do not want you to miss the next one that is meant exactly for your life. Hit subscribe. Turn on the bell. Let this be your first act of faith today. Now let me tell you what heaven sees when it looks at your life right now. You have been faithful in a season that did not reward faithfulness visibly. You prayed when nothing moved. You believed when the numbers said otherwise. You kept going when every logical reason to stop showed up at once. And I want you to hear this directly. God was watching every single one of those moments. Not from a distance, from close. From inside the breath you took before you decided to try again. He was not silent because he forgot. He was silent because something larger than what you were asking for was being assembled on your behalf. You did not receive the small answer because you were being prepared for the complete one. Something is moving in your financial atmosphere tonight. Not because you got everything right, not because you were perfect in your faith or flawless in your choices, but because a timing that was set into place before you ever drew your first breath has finally landed on this exact moment. This exact night, this exact screen in front of you right now. There is a transfer already in motion toward you. And I want you to hear clearly what I mean by that, because it is not coming through any channel you applied for. It is not sitting in the hands of a person you have been trying to reach. It does not require an approval from a system that has turned you down before. This one moves through something the world does not have a form for. It moves through alignment, through the invisible but undeniable force of being exactly where you are supposed to be, at exactly the hour it was supposed to happen. You did not stumble here. You were positioned here, and that positioning just became the most important thing about your day. The enemy understood this moment was on the calendar long before you did, and because he understood it, he came prepared. He always uses the same 3 weapons against people who are dangerously close to receiving what heaven has marked for them. Distraction first, flooding your attention with noise, urgency, and chaos, designed to keep your eyes anywhere but here. Then doubt, slipping into the voices of people around you, into your own thoughts at 3 a.m., whispering that your window had already closed, that people like you do not get to have stories like this, that your best days were already behind you. And when distraction and doubt were not enough to move you, he reached for his most exhausting weapon of all. Delay. He stretched the waiting past what felt survivable. He let silence sit so long that you started translating it as a final answer. But here is what he never told you about delay. Delay in the hands of God is not rejection dressed in patience. It is protection dressed in timing. Every day this blessing did not arrive was a day it was being guarded, secured, rerouted around every trap the enemy laid across the path to reach you. What is moving toward you tonight has been held in safekeeping through every interception attempt, every interference. Every moment the enemy thought he had finally succeeded in cutting it off, and now it is moving with a momentum. He has absolutely no authority to slow down, because the one condition that unlocks it has been met. You are still here, still present, still choosing to believe when the weight of everything around you has been pushing you toward giving up. Type the word open in the comments right now if something in your spirit already knows this message belongs to you. Not because a comment changes what heaven has decided, but because your agreement matters. Because saying yes out loud is an act of faith that something in the unseen world responds to. Let your voice be the signal that you are ready. Now let me speak directly to the part of you that nobody else in your life has had the courage or the closeness to address. You have cried over money in private, and I am not talking about the kind of crying that happens in front of people, the kind that gets witnessed and comforted and talked through. I am talking about the other kind, the kind that happens in your car, parked somewhere you hoped no one would notice you, gripping the steering wheel because you did not know where else to put what you were feeling. The kind that happens in the bathroom with the door locked, water running so no one on the other side can hear you fall apart for 4 minutes before you pull yourself together and walk back out looking fine. The kind that happens at 2 a.m. when you have done the math again, moved the numbers around every possible way, and they still do not stretch far enough. And you lie there in the dark staring at the ceiling carrying a weight that feels too heavy and too embarrassing to hand to anyone else. And you did not tell a single person, not really, because somewhere along the way you became the strong one, the one who holds it together, the one people lean on. And you decided, quietly, and without anyone asking you to, that your financial fear did not get to take up space in anyone else's life. That your struggle was yours to carry alone. That needing help would make you a burden, and being a burden was something you refused to become. Heaven saw every one of those moments, every single one. Every single one of those silent moments was heard. Every single one. Not recorded by a system that forgets when the servers go down. Recorded in a place that exists outside of time, outside of loss, outside of anything that can be corrupted or erased. There is a ledger there that carries your name at the top. And underneath it, every night you chose to trust, when trusting made no logical sense. Every quiet thank you you offered when your hands were empty and your eyes were burning. Every time you reached towards someone else's need when your own need was screaming. Every act of faith that no one witnessed, that no one applauded, that you carried alone in the dark and laid down anyway. That is not just a beautiful memory collecting dust in eternity. That is active. That is alive. In the economy of heaven, that kind of faithfulness does not sit idle. It accumulates. It compounds. And tonight, the account is being drawn from. From the outside, nothing may look different yet. The people around you are still operating on yesterday's information about you. They cannot see what has already moved. But in the realm where decisions are made before they materialize, where the course of a life is redirected before a single circumstance shifts, something has already happened. The books have been opened. What was recorded in your name has been counted. The numbers have been corrected in your favor, and the ruling has already come down. What is on its way to you is not just financial. And I need you to hold that truth carefully, because it is easy to only look at the money. Yes, the financial shift is real. It is coming, and it is coming decisively. But arriving alongside it is something that no dollar amount fully captures. It is the return of you. The version of you that somewhere along this hard road got buried under pressure and silence, and the slow erosion of being told, directly or indirectly, that your needs were too much. Your dreams were too big. Your faith was naive. The version of you that used to walk into a room without first calculating whether you had earned the right to take up space there. That person did not disappear. They were preserved, and they are coming back now, not defeated, not diminished, but fully resourced and completely unafraid. Drop the words "I am ready" in the comments right now, not as a performance, not to look faithful, but to plant something. Because the moment you speak that declaration out loud, you are not just expressing belief, you are activating it. Something in the atmosphere around your life responds when you open your mouth and agree with what heaven has already written. So say it, mean it, let it land. And before I go further, I want to be honest with you for a moment, because this space was built on honesty. This message did not reach you by accident, and it did not reach you for free. It exists because people who sat where you are sitting right now, who felt what you are feeling right now, chose to do something quietly generous after they received. They decided to be the reason the next person found it. They will never meet that person. They will never know the name of the one whose life shifted because the message kept moving. But they gave anyway. Because that is what people do when something real touches them. If you feel that same pull right now, the link is in the description below and in the pinned comment above. It is there for those whose heart is already moving toward it. No pressure lives in this moment. No expectation follows you if you scroll past it. Just an open door, and behind it, the chance to become the invisible hand that holds a stranger up on a day they almost did not make it through. If one unknown person finding this word at exactly the right moment, because of your quiet yes means something to you, then step through. If it is not the right time, keep reading. You are just as welcome here. Now let me tell you exactly what this breakthrough is going to look like when it arrives, because I want you sharp enough to catch it and grounded enough not to talk yourself out of it. It is not going to look the way you rehearsed it. Not even close. You have imagined a version of this moment. The call from a specific person. The opportunity through a familiar channel. The answer that arrives the way you asked for it. Forget that version. Heaven does not deliver on your routing. It delivers on its own. It may come through a phone call you almost sent to voicemail because you did not recognize the number. A message buried in an inbox you had already mentally cleared out. A conversation that opens as small talk. Something forgettable. Something you almost excused yourself from. And then takes a turn that ends with a figure that rewrites your entire month. A door swinging open in a room you quietly stopped walking past, because you had been rejected there too many times to keep hoping. And when it comes, your first reaction will not be joy. It will be suspicion. It will feel too clean, too fast, too unearned. Your mind will run its familiar calculation and arrive at the conclusion it always runs to. This cannot be for me. Something this good does not just happen to someone like me. That is the exact moment I need you to catch yourself and choose differently. Before the doubt finishes its sentence, interrupt it. say it out loud. Right where you are. God, I receive this. I am not too small for this. I was written into this before I ever thought to ask for it. Say it like the miracle is already in the room, because it is. Say it like you are not auditioning for the blessing, but accepting delivery of it, because that is exactly what this is. Because you were, I was present when your name came up. I heard the decision. I watched the seal placed on what was assigned to you. And the people who underestimated you will not be able to explain what they are about to witness. Not because you will announce it, but because the blessing coming is so clearly beyond your own doing that the only explanation is divine favor. You will not need to say a word. Let the evidence speak. I need to tell you something about what the enemy has been doing in the weeks before today. He did not turn up the pressure by accident. Every bill that arrived at the wrong time, every relationship that frayed without explanation, every morning you woke up exhausted before the day even started, none of it was random. It was calculated. He needed you worn down, distracted, and too depleted to be standing upright when this moment came. Because here is the truth he understood before you did. The enemy does not mobilize his heaviest weapons against people who pose no threat. He saves his most relentless attacks for the ones who are dangerously close to something. Not just something that changes their own life, but something that changes the people around them, their family, their community. The stranger they have not yet met who will one day point to their story and say, if they made it through that, then I can keep going. That is what was attached to this blessing before you ever knew to ask for it. Not just provision purpose. And the enemy saw the whole picture even when you were only seeing the pain. That is why this season did not just feel hard. It felt personal, because he was not trying to inconvenience you. He was trying to dismantle you before you could step into the version of yourself that becomes impossible to ignore. The version that makes people rethink every lie they believed about what faithful people deserve. You are about to become living proof that good people do not always finish last. That quiet faith does not go unrewarded. That the ones who held on when holding on made no sense are exactly the ones heaven had been preparing all along. He knew that, and he failed anyway, because you are still here. Now let me speak to something that runs deeper than your finances, deeper than the number in your account, deeper than what you have been waiting to see change. You have been telling yourself a story written entirely from the evidence of your hardest chapters. What has not come through, what fell apart, what you tried and lost, and without realizing it, that story became the ceiling you live under. It quietly rewrote what you allow yourself to hope for, reach for, and believe you are worthy of receiving. But heaven has never called you by that story's title. Not struggling, not too late, not overlooked. Heaven calls you chosen, assigned, shielded, positioned. There is a version of your name written in a place the enemy cannot edit, and it does not carry a single one of the labels your circumstances have tried to stick to you. And I need you to understand the difference between being behind and being timed. Because most people never do, and it costs them everything. Someone who is behind is chasing a schedule they missed. Someone who is timed is moving on a schedule that was never theirs to control, arriving at exactly the moment the plan always intended. You were never chasing. You were always being carried toward a specific arrival point, and you are standing on it right now. The version of you walking out of this season is not going to look back and recognize who was living inside this pressure 12 months ago. Not because circumstances waved a wand and reset everything overnight, but because what was being built inside you through every silent, grinding, invisible day of this season is now complete. You went into a formation that looked like collapse. What is coming out is something the fire could not consume, something the weight could not crush, something refined to a clarity that ordinary seasons never produce. Refined people move differently. They do not negotiate with the fears that used to own them. They do not duck under ceilings that were never meant to hold them. They do not shrink themselves to make their blessing seem more acceptable to people who doubted them. That is who you are becoming. Starting tonight, starting with the next breath you take after this word lands, So say this out loud right now, or type it in the comments where heaven and every principality watching this moment can hear it. I am not behind. I am timed. My breakthrough is already written. Say it with the full weight of everything you have carried to get to this sentence. Because the angels moving toward you right now, carrying what has your name on it, are not responding to your silence. They are responding to your declaration. Open your mouth. Let them hear that you are ready. I want to close this the way heaven closes its most important messages. Not with hype, not with noise, but with clarity. If you are still here, you passed every test of obedience this message asked of you. You did not skip. You did not dismiss. You did not let the voice that said this is not for you convince you to leave, and that matters more than you know. Heaven does not honor performance. It honors persistence. And persistence is exactly what you demonstrated today. What is coming is not a temporary lift. It is not a brief relief that fades next week. What is moving toward you right now is a reordering, a reset, a restructuring of what has been misaligned for too long. The finances are going to reflect what has always been true about your worth. The relationships are shifting. The opportunities that were redirected are finding their way back to you. And the peace that felt so unreachable in this season is going to settle over your life in a way that surprises even you. You are going to wake up one morning soon and realize that something feels different. Not because a single dramatic event announced it, but because the accumulation of quiet shifts has created an undeniable new reality. And you will remember this moment, this word, this day, and you will know that this was when heaven confirmed it before it arrived. If someone came to mind while you were reading this, the one who is struggling quietly, the one who needs a word but would never ask for it, share this with them. Let your obedience today be the bridge that connects them to their own moment. And before you go, subscribe to this channel so the next message that is sent for your journey reaches you on time. And leave the word Amen in the comments as your final declaration that you receive what heaven has already sealed with your name. The vault is open. The transfer is in motion. The child is ready. That child is you. Go receive it, and do not look back.